Alright, then we're getting ready to set up the Arganese side. And a little note on this game. Oh, and by the way, I got on my shirt I bought in Rome for my Rome trip. Took this out to dinner last night. Well, that's another story, but yeah. So we're all set here in the Mediterranean. We're dressed for it. But let's zoom in here. I want to give you a little briefing on these. This King unit, you can see the modifiers he has. It definitely helps in combat and politics and all that other stuff. But the only other king in here is the French king. If I can find him, you can see he's a little bit weaker. Here are the Arganese units that we are going to deploy. That second unit next to him represents what's called in this game field armies. And an important aspect of that counter is that represents 2 units when it comes time for combat. We'll see over here real quick if I can be slow. Field armies and mercenary units count as 2 units. Argonne, Giona, Venice, naval units count as 2 units, so that's important when you're having these combats. Also down here, raider units count as 2 units, so it's an important aspect. Here we got their field armies that count as 2 units. A lot of levies. Arganese also have a special ability that the Anjou and the French do not have, and that's these raider units. And you'll find out a lot about that coming from in the history. Coming from Sardinia. Where's the big island? Here we go. I did a bunch of raiding through here. And the game kind of abstractly represents that. Then you have your mercenary units. And these mercenary units add positive modifiers if they're within your army when it comes time for combat. And let's see if we can't get a good zoom in there on this Arganese fleet or ship. What do they call that? Let me see over here. Field armies, naval units. All right, it's just naval unit. But Argonne, Genoa, and Venice naval units count as 2, so you always got to remember that. But and the history in the book tells you more about how those how the naval powers worked around here. It was mostly no deep sea, big old cargo ships. These things moved around fast, and I don't know, shallow water, but shallower water. You can tell by their profile what they're doing. They're meant for speed and to get around. And fortunately, in my gaming thing here, let's see if I can't find the page real quick for us. Oh yeah, they give you a whole bunch on Naval Warfare. Oh, not much, not much, but they give you some information. And with a nice little painting from the time. So that'll be an important aspect in the game. I didn't get into it too much in turn 1 or 2 of my last game, but I did learn something, and I will use that information on this game. You can see here that we got these fleets. They got to be next to a land unit that you own, but an important part of it is they got to start with a city. And the sea area next to the land unit you owned, our land area, and the city. So last game I had these guys spread out here, and before I could do anything with them, they had to waste operational points to get to this harbor first, or a city, and then they can go on from there. So lesson learned in this next game, starting them where the city is, as you can see there too. But yeah, it's got a lot of good strategies, and I'll show you the battles and stuff coming up on here. But let me go ahead and deploy my Argonne forces, the field armies, the levies, raiders, mercenaries, and fleets. We'll be back. Alright, well, this is my Argonne deployment. And you can see I keep the border spots pretty beefed up. Some field armies there, a couple of them with the king. And in other spots I got field army, some raiders, and some mercenaries. So that little spot there, oh, here we go with the pronunciations. Urgal's pretty strong. See, I want to keep those border spots pretty beefed up. And I keep my coast with some levies and some raiders. But and Lower Argonne pretty well insulated from enemy spots, so he's at least garrisoned. But there you go. Keep my fleets together. That's one thing I learned in playing the first 2 turns. So you kind of want to keep things together because you'll be gathering at what's called battle groups. So there you go. Now we got to deploy the allies, but these are your main combatants. This will be player A, player B. I got my little help pad here. Victory points for cities acquired. Not for the ones you already have. The ones that you acquired during the game, ain't gonna hold on to. I think we'll make sure of that. But I'll redo this. My last game, the French captured Rosalio or whatever it was. Somewhere around here, he came in and had a nice little battle. Stuff like that going on. We had some stuff going on down here in Sicily too. But we'll get to that. All right, time to deploy the what we got here. Oh, Argonne setup. Inactive powers. Inactive powers will be the one of 3 belligerency status. Huh. Alright, that Argonne TP marker is treasury points. Look over here, you can see the French got a little bit more in there, a little bit more quiche, a little bit more cash than the Argonese they start out with. But back here, the inactive powers are either neutral, where you can't really do anything with them, not allowing anybody, a vassalage, or allied, and ally or allied, or whatever. Neutral power setup, so we're getting ready to put some neutral powers in here. The Caliphate of Tunis is a vassal of player B, so the Argonese will be using his units. What's the name? Home area of Castle. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so we're starting off here with these neutrals, but these aren't really neutrals, so I don't know why they call them neutrals, but down here at the Caliphate of Tunis, you got that word Caliphate, meaning these guys a little bit on the Arab side, but you also got a vassal marker. So Argonne, the player B, controls all those units there, and you deploy these Tunis units face down, so you don't know what you're getting into. Also, another notation is alliance is Sicily. Again, units face down, so these will be Argonne units, basically. They are just called vassals, and the difference between that one is alliance. So we will continue. Oops, sorry about the bad camera work. Deploying units. We'll be right back. Alright, now then at the end of that, you can see there's Sicily and the Caliphate of Tunis, which are the allies of player B or the Argonese player. But then you'll come up here to these neutrals, and they just give you an option. Player B will deploy these. Player A, player B, player A, player B, player A, and then either player can go ahead and deploy these. So they're just giving you a little bit of control on each player on how to deploy them. So we're going to go ahead and deploy the real neutrals, and I'll be right back. Alright, then deployment of the Genovese by the Argonese player. Beefed up their capital, their city of Genoa. I guess that's how you spell it. It's been a long time since I've played medieval Total War. Genoa. I guess that's how you pronounce it. They also controlled the island of Corsica, and they got a little bit going down here in Sardinia too. So, not knowing what the units are, mainly beefed up their home island. And they got a nice little expeditionary brigade down here. See what's going on. So that is the Genovese. We'll be going on to the player A, the French. We'll deploy the Pisa units. Be right back. Alright, then Pisa. Interesting enough, had a little spot there on the coast, but no city. But they do have a nice little stake here in Sardinia. And Calgary will be their main city. And they do have a couple fleets or a couple naval units, so these units are unknown in Sardinia. But and I do believe the last game I deployed their fleets out here, which meant that they would have had to start wasting operational points to get to a city spot, and then they could have went to port and then took off. So always start your fleets in a city space. Alright, well that is the Pisa deployment. And that's another thing too about, you get into this medieval stuff, and it's so strange, I guess, but it's the way it was back then about these families, these dynasties. You had a Frenchman ruling the Spanish, and oh god, I mean, it was so nepotism, and then you had where they would inbreed so bad. Their leaders were deformed. God, what was up back then? And then these poor people who were the peasants fighting their battles. Oh, mankind, I'll tell you. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so now it's the Venetians' turn, and they say you're supposed to deploy these units face down, but, when they're out to sea, you know what they are anyway, so, yeah, I'll deploy the naval units face up, but there you go. You gotta have at least one unit in each space. The Venetians are strong around, what is that, the Balkan area, Split. I guess it'd be Croatia or something like that. I don't know, where would Split be? Yugoslavia or something like that. Get down there around Greece over here. But anyway, yeah, Venetians staying away from Italy and going more east. But there you go. Dalmatia, some other territory I can't pronounce, and Venice, but we beefed them up. Put 2 units on Venice and a big old fleet right by the city. Venice has got the strong fleet, of course. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, next are the units of Castile. And the thing of it is, in Castle, or Castile, I guess, whatever you call it, upper, lower, whatever, new and old, no cities. So, just deployed them 2 in each territory. I don't know, I guess maybe it's a fringe of their kingdom. They just have territories out there, but that is the Castilian deployment as done by player A, which would be the French and Anjou player. Next, we will have England and the Aragonese. We'll deploy them. We'll be right back. Alright, not much there. The Duchy of Guyenne. Duchy of Guyenne, I guess. Bordeaux City, though, up there. So he's pretty well deployed. So all I could do is deploy his 4 units. In my last game, and we'll see how the sequence of play goes, but I was able to, ally these guys with the Argonne. Hold on a second. So that is the deployment there. Who is next? England, the Papal States. We'll do the Papal States and we'll be right back. Alright, the Papal States just control the Papal States and Rome. There's a lot of history around that too, with the rest of Italy kind of being bitter that Rome, the Papal States control that area. And later on in history, I guess it's the unification, like, let's say in the war between Prussia and France. Yeah, the rest of Italy invaded Rome and kicked them out. I'll tell you, family politics, that's all it was dynasties. And, this king and his relatives here. And I guess that's where you get the original word nepotism. It is ridiculous. And I'll tell you, a good game if you really want to get into families and dynasties and, bloodlines. Oh, what is that? It's a computer game. Oh, I forgot what it is, but it is really intricate. I'll come up with it. I'll think about it because I think I got it. And it's really what's it called? Kingdoms or something? I don't know. I'll be right back. Crusader Kings. I had to go look it up. Yeah, you talk about families and the way it was back there in the medieval times. Crusader Kings 2. I think they even got Crusader Kings 3 out now, but yeah, that is nuts. It's tough to see, trying to get your character to marry into the royal families. Get your line, I guess your line of family, your family line. But anyway, it's nuts. Thank God we don't live through royalty and stuff anymore. All right, well, continue deployment. We'll get back. All right, then we are done. I'll give it a little zoom so I keep the shadow out of the way. But yeah, they're just neutrals. Not knowing who they are, all flipped over. You can see Venice with their fleet and old Ancona. They got a nice little fleet out there too, but that's about it. Tuscany, some nice forces. Oh, and old Firenze, Florence, been there. That's a great place. Oh, I took a tour from Venice on down. We went to Tuscany, St. Francis of Assisi. We went to Assisi, and down here to Pisa. See the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and also I think of Pompeii was somewhere around there too. Florence, Rome. Rome was great. We ended up down there in Naples. Took off and flew back home, but oh yeah, it was a great tour, great time. And like I said, I need to post my videos. I got some in the beginning of my channel of Italy, but yeah, I got a whole bunch more. I probably need to post them. But anyway, here we are, down here in Africa, Sultanate of Bougie, whatever that is, Kingdom of Timisian. Oh my God, I don't even know if that's an L. I guess that's a Tlem. Tlemcen. I can't read this. The Merinids. Oh my God. Yeah, I need a lot of help. help with pronunciations. But anyway, here they are. They're all set up and ready to go. We're ready to commence. I'm going to make me a new notepad here, a fresh one, and I'll get it all set up and we'll be ready for first turn. Show you how this game goes. Be right back. Alright, well, luckily they got a nice little sequence of play on the back of these rules. Excuse that noise, that's my computer, I guess, dying. I don't know. Sounds like there's a mouse that are turning it around. Those old wheels those gerbils used to be on. But anyway, we're getting ready to start the game here, and just wanted to make a little note on, and especially on my pronunciation, Aragon, not Argon. It's just my little quirk. I usually, when I can't pronounce things, I give my own name. So the Aragon forces. So Anjou, French, and who else I can't pronounce. We'll have all kinds of fun here. Listen to my pronunciations of these cities and factions. On with some play. We'll be right back. Calling it a video.